The corridor vibrated with a low, steady hum of docking thrusters. Trevor walked slowly, one hand brushing the wall for balance. The ship felt different now, heavier somehow, as if the air itself had thickened on approach to the hub. Crew voices echoed ahead, footsteps, metal clanging, routine movement, but sharper, more purposeful than usual. Cullen stood by the airlock console, checking readouts. Pamela tightened the straps on her utility vest. Ben hovered near the bulkhead, arms crossed, eyes flicking toward Trevor with that same unreadable tension he'd carried since yesterday. Trevor stopped a few paces away, taking in the muffled roar beyond the hull, a deep, industrial heartbeat pulsing through the metal.
Docking complete. Pressure equalized. Stand by.
Pamela glanced at Trevor, offering a small, reassuring smile.
It's gonna be fine.
Trevor tried to answer, but the words caught. The air felt too thick. He swallowed. Yeah. A faint tremor passed through him. Not fear, not illness, but something deeper. A hollowing, a quieting. He pressed a hand to his chest, subtle, hoping no one noticed. Pamela did.
You okay?
Trevor nodded, though his eyes stayed fixed on the sealed airlock door.
Just the atmosphere. Feels different.
Cullen snorted lightly.
That's one way to put it. The hub hits you like a wall the first time. You'll get used to it.
Ben didn't speak. He just watched Trevor, closely. A heavy clunk reverberated through the corridor. The airlock lights shifted from red to amber, then to green.
All right. Keep your IDs visible. Follow my lead.
The door slid open with a hydraulic hiss. Trevor braced himself, but the docking bay was quieter than he expected. Wide, industrial, built for ships larger than Evangelina. A man waited at the end of the ramp, a hovering drone silently keeping pace beside him. He greeted them with a flat, practiced tone.
Name's Sid, Logistics Supervisor. Welcome to Port Helix, as the fancy folks call it. First visit?
He didn't wait for an answer.
Right. Customs and Immigration is through the transit ring. Register there before anything else.
Cullen cut him off with a nod.
We know the drill.
Sid blinked, a little thrown, then recovered.
Good. Then, yeah, off you go.
He gestured them toward the exit. The drone drifted closer as he watched the crew walk away.
Keep an eye on them.
The drone lifted slightly and flew silently after the crew. They exited the docking bay passage and stepped into the transit ring, and the world exploded around them. A blast of sound and color hit them immediately. Shouting vendors, people on the move, clattering machinery, neon signs flickering in impossible hues. The air was warm, dense, alive with the smell of metal, ozone, and too many bodies in too little space. Trevor blinked hard. The world swam for a moment, not from dizziness, but from pressure. A psychic weight. He felt suddenly engulfed, as if the place itself pressed into him, testing the seams of who he was. A metallic taste crept over his tongue, sharp, electric, wrong.
If I stay here too long, this place will get inside me.
Cullen moved ahead with a stoic calm, cutting a path through the chaos, IDs visible. Pamela stayed close behind him. Ben lingered near Trevor, watching him with tight suspicion. A pair of uniformed officers were waiting for them. Crisp uniforms, polished boots, posture straight as steel. Their presence cut through the chaos like a blade. One of them stepped forward. Evangelina crew? Cullen nodded.
That's us. Manifest's been transmitted.
The officer didn't look at him. His eyes were already on Trevor.
We're conducting routine checks on inbound personnel. One of you needs to come with us.
Pamela frowned.
Is there a problem?
The other officer answered her question.
Standard procedure. Randomized selection.
Ben's jaw tightened. Trevor swallowed.
What do you need?
Identification verification. This way.
He looked straight at Trevor and motioned for him to follow. Cullen stepped forward, calm but firm.
He's my deckhand. If there's an issue, I'd like to...
Routine check. Only the selected individual.
Pamela looked at Trevor, worry creeping in.
Harry?
Trevor forced a small, steady breath. He didn't want to make a scene.
It's fine. I'll go.
Ben watched him, not blinking. The officers flanked Trevor, one on each side.
Stay close.
They guided him into the crowd, swallowed by the noise and light. Pamela took a step after them, but Cullen caught her arm.
Let it play out. If it's routine, he'll be back in 10 minutes.
Pamela didn't look convinced. The station was nothing like the chaotic docking ring. It was quiet, sterile, bright. A long corridor of white composite walls led into a small chamber lined with scanners, smooth, seamless machines humming with a low, clinical resonance. Everything here felt heavier, denser, as if the air had thickened around him. Heavy, charged, like the moment before a storm breaks. Trevor stood in the center of the room. The two officers positioned themselves by the door, hands behind their backs, posture rigid. A technician stepped in. Older, expression unreadable, movements efficient.
Stand still. Arms at your sides.
Trevor obeyed. The technician activated the scanner. A soft pulse of light swept across Trevor's body, head to toe, then back again. The machine emitted a faint chime.
Again.
Another sweep. Another chime. Identical. Trevor swallowed, trying to keep his breathing steady. Would they discover his fake ID? He had taken the name Harry Keene the night he died inside the conglomerate. Back then, he'd been a Union agent, buried deep under cover, watching the conglomerate from the inside until the only way out had been to disappear completely. A Union specialist, someone who owed him more than a favor, had built the new identity for him. Paperwork, forged records, a few carefully planted data trails. A life assembled in silence. He had always trusted it. Trusted that it would hold. Trusted that it was enough. The technician checked the display. No reaction. No anomaly. Nothing. He adjusted a dial, narrowing the scan field. A third sweep. A sharper chime. The technician frowned, not in suspicion, but in mild annoyance, as if the machine were being uncooperative. He tapped the screen once. The display stabilized.
Identity confirmed. No irregularities detected.
He turned to the officers.
He's clear.
The officers nodded. You're free to go. Trevor blinked.
So, that's it?
The technician didn't look up.
That's it.
Trevor hesitated, just a fraction, expecting something. A question, a second test, a sign that they'd seen what he felt inside. But there was nothing. Just the hum of the machines. Just the weight of the solid world pressing down on him.
Right. Thanks.
He stepped past the officers and out into the corridor. The door slid shut behind him with a soft hiss. For a moment, Trevor stood alone in the sterile hallway, breathing in the heavy air. He felt more normal than he had in days. And somehow, that terrified him. Amanda and Eric had been with Daniel for hours. It was close to midnight.
Hey, it's late and I've got work tomorrow. I should get home, get some rest. Might as well pick up some breakfast at the cafeteria.
Okay, I'll keep you company. I could use a cup of tea.
The lobby was quiet. Polished floors, soft lighting, the distant hum of night shift machinery. As they entered, Amanda felt it. A faint electronic pulse drifting through the air. Soft, rhythmic, wrong. Her breath caught.
I need to use the toilets. Why don't you grab me a takeaway tea?
Sure. Back in a few.
Amanda turned and froze. At the far end of the corridor, the agent stepped into view. Slow, methodical, scanning device in hand, its thin strip of light pulsing with cold precision. Amanda slipped behind a nearby pillar, heart pounding.
Oh no, he's closing in on Daniel.
The agent paused, tapped the device, adjusted something, then continued walking toward the patient wing. Amanda's pulse spiked. Amanda saw Eric step out of the cafe, a takeaway tea in one hand and the wrapped sandwich in the other. She also saw the agent, moving slowly along the far corridor, scanner pulsing, focused, dangerously close to Daniel's room. She had seconds, no more. Amanda's eyes narrowed. A quick calculation, a risk, a chance. She lifted her hand and waved, not to call Eric over, but to guide him straight into the agent's path.
Eric, here.
Eric spotted her and smiled with relief.
Ah, there you are.
He hurried toward her, straight into the agent. The collision was immediate. The sandwich hit the floor, tea sloshed over Eric's hand.
Oh, sorry, I didn't...
The agent didn't react. Not physically, not emotionally. He turned his head with slow, mechanical precision and raised the scanner toward Eric. The device pulsed sharply. A spike. A false resonance. Eric froze. Amanda's stomach dropped.
Hold still.
Eric swallowed, hands half raised.
I work here. Night shift.
The agent didn't look at Eric's face, only at the scanner. The device flickered, confused, reading the faint, lingering distortion Eric carried from the town square rift weeks ago. A ghost of an echo, not the source.
Interesting. Interesting.
He turned on the spot, recalibrating. The spike faded, stabilized, dissolved. The agent lowered the device, looked at Eric for a moment that felt like an eternity, then slipped the scanner into his coat and walked straight out through the entrance doors. Eric stood trembling.
What the hell was that?
Amanda approached slowly, eyes still on the doors.
He's looking for Daniel.
Eric's face drained of color.
Did he find him?
Amanda shook her head, barely.
No, not yet.
Eric went home. Amanda didn't. The agent had left the building, but she had no idea for how long. She stayed through the night, drifting in and out of uneasy sleep outside Daniel's room, waiting for footsteps that never came. By morning, exhaustion had settled deep in her bones. James found her curled on a bench in the hallway, still in yesterday's clothes. He touched her shoulder gently.
I brought you some tea and a sandwich, my dear.
Amanda blinked up at him, eyes hollow.
Is he?
James shook his head softly.
Daniel's still in his long sleep.
James wasn't the type to talk softly about anything. Not feelings, not fear, not the things that kept him awake at night. But moments like this pulled something quieter out of him, a gentleness he'd never admit to, not even to himself. If anyone else had been watching, he would have straightened up, cleared his throat, made a joke. But here, with Amanda collapsing under the weight of it all, he let the softness stay. He handed her the tea. It was already afternoon, and their meeting with the doctors was less than an hour away. A sterile, windowless room, a round table, 4 chairs, a monitor displaying Daniel's latest EEG, a nearly flat line with only the faintest flickers. Amanda sat upright, hands clasped tightly in her lap. James sat beside her, pale, exhausted, but present. The door opened. 2 doctors entered, Dr. Halverson, senior consultant, and Dr. Reed, her younger colleague. They sat down without small talk, no softening, no preamble.
Thank you for coming. We need to review Daniel's current status with you.
Amanda nodded once. James tried to smile, but it collapsed before it formed.
As you know, Daniel has been in a coma for several weeks now. Physically, his recovery has been unusual. His burns have healed faster than expected. Organ function is stable. It's an exceptionally strong somatic response.
Amanda didn't move. She heard the words, but waited for the part that mattered.
But we also need to discuss his neurological condition.
Dr. Reed tapped the monitor. The EEG expanded on the screen, almost entirely flat.
We've repeated all standard tests: sensory stimuli, pain response, pupillary reflexes. There is no reaction.
James swallowed hard.
We've conducted continuous EEG monitoring over the last 72 hours. There is no measurable cortical activity.
Amanda blinked slowly, barely breathing.
I'm very sorry, but Daniel meets the clinical criteria for brain death.
Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. James leaned forward, voice cracking.
But his body is healing. You said he was recovering.
The body can remain strong, but without brain activity, there is no consciousness. No possibility of recovery.
Amanda stared at the flat line, at the empty curve that said nothing about what she knew, what she felt.
Our medical recommendation is to withdraw life support measures.
James gasped, a small, broken sound. Amanda didn't move.
You're saying we should let him die?
Dr. Halverson's voice remained steady, clinical.
We're saying Daniel is already gone.
Amanda closed her eyes once. When she opened them, they were dry, cold, focused.
No.
The doctors exchanged a glance.
We understand this is difficult to accept, but...
No.
She rose slowly. The chair scraped against the floor.
Daniel is not gone. You are not turning anything off.
James looked at her, confused, frightened, but suddenly clinging to her certainty. The doctors kept their tone neutral.
We can give you time to think, but we do need to make a decision soon. We cannot maintain life support indefinitely.
Amanda leaned forward, voice low, controlled, dangerous.
You don't touch him.
She turned and walked out. James stood shakily and followed, still in shock. The doctors watched them leave.
She's not going to accept this.
No. But the clock has started.